order of business is approval of meeting minutes. Any comments on meeting minutes?
None.
I will move that we accept the minutes as presented. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All right, we have to do roll calls. So let's start with Dorian.
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
and I am aye as well. So that is unanimous. Next item on the agenda is the employee transition report.
Quick report for you this morning. The town clerk has recently appointed Elise Khoury to take the part-time position in the clerk's office. She's actually going to work the day of the special town meeting, and then she'll start her regular hours the following week. And she's a town resident, so we're excited to welcome her. And Kelly O'Brien has resigned her position in the building department to take a great role in another community. So we are in the wrapping up our recruitment for that to make a recommendation, hopefully next week to the select board.
We may need a special meeting.
Yes. Keep you posted.
Part of the course of all new positions.
Yeah. It's just the timing of it. If we could have had, if we could have had it ready, you know, and select board had already approved, then this would have been easy this morning, but it'll be, you know, be a very short meeting.
Sounds good. Any questions?
Nope.
All right. Is Jay gonna present the next time?
I'll open it for, and he can chime in.
Okay, so I'll just, it's a request for professional development funding IT.
Correct. So we did talk about this last month, and the course Jay had set up, tried to register for, had filled up so quickly, he missed that deadline. So we wanted to get ahead of that a little bit. There's a tremendous conference on Cisco products that Jay is implementing now. So we did want to seek $3,000 for him to attend this multi-day conference. I just wanted to note that in the IT department, it's of course Jay, and Hassan is our other full-time employee, and they only have $3,000 in total for both of them for the year for professional development. So that's why we're seeking this funding from the board. This is not something he would ever be able to attend with the current funding in his own budget.
Nice to allow both.
No,
employees to
Jay
attend?
would,
Just for myself. Okay.
So the other money in the budget is allocated for other conferences?
yes. Do you want to talk about that? What else you use it for?
Yeah,
Jay?
so currently we use it for the, for both myself and for Hassan, the senior IT specialist. He's also doing training for certification, so he's completing his A+ and also continuation with more certifications.
Yep.
So we set aside that, and also we pay for a training module for all of that for the year, which comes out of that same budget line.
Okay.
So
That all
what
makes
would the-
sense.
What would the total budget be with this, if this were to be approved?
What would be the total budget for
What would the total spend approximately?
for just this
This is 3,000.
Yeah.
Will we spend the rest of the 3,000?
Yeah, it would be pretty much for the, like I said, for the training tests that Hassan will be taking, also with the modules that we pay for. We pay an annual subscription for a module on training. So yeah, it would pretty much take
Would
away the
exhaust the whole
majority.
funding.
Yeah, we would exhaust the rest of the funding. Sorry, my nose is stuffy from what the whole.
Any other questions?
No, a comment that should spend whatever we have on that department, that we're trying to help support.
Thank
I
you.
don't know how much more they're gonna teach it, because every time I go, we've always got the answers.
I appreciate that. But I don't know them all.
All right, then I will move that we approve the training request for the IT department for the amount of $3,000. I'll second. All right, seconded by Tom. Any further discussion? All right, roll call vote. Dorian,
Aye.
Brian,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Tom,
Aye.
and I am I as well.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Appreciate it.
I was wondering who's coming in, but it's.
Yeah.
I think it might be Katie. She's taking the minutes from our office this morning.
Okay. All right, so the next is town meeting, which is coming up in less than 2 weeks, I guess. I'm gonna talk logistics before we go into details. So there are 2 personnel board motions and 1 select board motion related to a personnel board item. There's a chance that I am not there. So the first logistics, is I need a backup in case I'm not there, that's gonna be ready to move the question. And move the question and answer questions on the topics. So as a reminder, the topics are the BA1 to BA2, kind of merging that job classification together, the vacation policy with an automatic 3-week start. And then there's a funding article that I assume mostly the select board would answer questions on, and or Brian, but I don't need an answer today, but if someone really wants to help out and be kind of on call, that would be greatly appreciated. But I just need someone to coordinate with offline in the event that became a reality. Definitely gonna be there?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll coordinate offline with Mark, if I'm not.
I would suggest that we all be there, sit together.
We can just like sit close to the front.
Donna will be there. It's my birthday, October 27th. I'm in
Oh.
Florida.
You didn't invite any of us.
No.
No.
All right, so I will let you know once my travel schedule gets firmed up, but we'll make sure we're coordinated. So there are 3 articles that are gonna go in this order. The first one would be essentially amending the classification schedule. That would then take the BA 1 position and combine it into which gonna now be called BA 1 as well, but all the way up at the classification level
Yes.
at 5, from 4 to 5. So I expect there'll be a motion, potentially questions, and then a vote.
Yeah.
And then the next one is just the vacation one. I think that's simpler to explain, just in terms of what we've had to approve for at least almost every.
And we have some data points on how often the board has had
Okay,
the last few years.
So, one question
Mhm.
on the warrant. So the wording is to consolidate DA 1 and DA 2 into one. So I can see the red line striking out business administrator 1 in the 4 categories.
Mhm.
In the next down, should that 1 be a 2?
No,
It's
the
a
one is
strike.
being eliminated.
It's actually a
It's
strike.
just so it was a BA1 and a BA2, and now it's simply business administrator.
So where does BA 2 get strucken out in this table?
I think that almost might have been deleted by accident when we were doing our accept changes.
I agree with what you're saying. It should, if you
Yeah.
actually look at the personnel bylaws, it's 1 and 2
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
But it seems like the track changes already automatically deleted the 2. So it'll probably just have to be,
The end result is the design.
Yes.
I don't think it impacts.
Yeah, and we could show that on the screen if we can get to.
Well, these are the little things that get people hung up
Yeah.
on the floor and,
And it's a good comment.
if
We could do a short, a one piece of handout that shows that.
I think what would probably be the best bet is for the moderator to just allow someone, whether probably Mark, to just stand up and say, like, when the warrant went to print, this is how the bylaw existed coming out of the April town meeting. We had BA 1, BA 2. Somehow in the track changes, the 2 already got eliminated. We are eliminating 2 as part of this, but you can't necessarily see this
Yeah.
in the wording here. And then we show,
I could have it on the screen.
and then I think we show what a clean chart looks like.
Yeah.
Going forward,
So-
which would just be BA.
So currently, the table, without any track changes on it, shows business administrator 1 in the grade 4
Yes.
and business administrator 2 in grade 5.
Yes.
So we just need to make that clear that
Yeah.
we're going.
All right, thank you, Brian. Good catch. And then we've got the vacation one. I think that one is far more self-explanatory. And then the last one is actually the funding of we'll call the 7 or greater year tenure employees to move them on the grid.
Actually, one question on the vacation.
I think
I could be wrong about this, but I thought when advisory voted on it, there was some opposition or at least one person opposed.
Yes,
Do you
in,
expect any big pushback?
I'm gonna defer to
advisory
Mark
on
on that. The advisory was not unanimous. Do you expect?
I don't expect there to be an issue. I don't expect them to speak against it.
And we show in the motion what the actual vote was. In the warrant, we say support or not support. But that will, the fact that that was not unanimous would be shown in the motion on the screen.
I don't know if that the non-unanimous people are gonna try and make a big effort to go against this, or is there anything that we need to be prepared for in a response to that? This is the vacation.
No, the funding article, the select board article.
Which one?
I thought it was the vacation.
Oh, I'm sorry, you said vacation, I'm
I
sorry.
thought it was vacay. I could be wrong about that.
But it shows support, doesn't say.
Right.
I mean, I'll
Yeah.
reach out to the chair and see
Yeah.
if. I mean, these are the things that like, it'd be nice if the personnel, like, we can't monitor everyone else's agendas.
Right.
If there's a personal, we should at least have representatives there to answer questions, because you may be. I don't know, you may or may not have had that opposition, I don't know, right? I do know that at least one advisory member did reach out, with a few questions in advance of that, but. said member also has a lot-
vacation policy?
just in general, some
Okay.
questions, but
Okay.
said member also has a lot of history with these topics, so.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I'll try to see if there, get a sense of what the discussion was or wasn't there, unless someone can outline that now. Okay,
But I'm happy to ask your question.
and then Article 6 is funding, for our proposed changes, so it's a select board article because of the funding component. I do think there's a chance, right, that the person on board could be asked the why question. But I also believe, based on the discussion that occurred at the select board level on this topic, one of them should hopefully get up, as the pointer of
That's
most
the
of these
Yeah.
employees of
Yeah.
why it's important. So I think what I'd say is the person on board is on standby on this one, even though it's
Yeah.
what we brought forward and then.
I think select board's gonna take the lead. I think Kathy Cook is the person who is identified as the person who's gonna
And
respond.
I think that's probably where we went wrong with the classification study back in April was, not having select board up there speaking to it as well. So, any questions on that one or approach? Okay, any other questions on town meeting? Okay, so we'll go to, the next town meeting, which would be, do we have a date yet, Mark?
We do not, we are bringing a draft calendar to the select board to approve on Tuesday night. They're also gonna be talking about a town meeting date. The indication that I have is that they would kind of prefer to have the annual town meeting on a Saturday. And the special town meetings during the week, which is kind of what we're trying to do. We've begun looking at some dates and talking with Trottier. The last week of March is, the stage is not available. I believe it's probably their spring production, that they're doing, so that whole Saturday would not work. The first Saturday in April is Easter weekend. So I think, the date that we will be talking about is going to be Saturday, April 11th. Would be, I think, what we're looking at. That gets us out of Easter and then stays away from Patriots Day and school vacation. So that appears to be the sweet spot. I think that's where we're going to start the discussion. We'll see if that's where we end up.
Okay, so the one thing we know we need to deal with is cost of living adjustments and coming up with one, getting the data, and then two, making a vote on that. My goal would be to try to do that for the November meeting. And the main reason for that is every year Brian has to go back and redo everyone's budget after it's been submitted to accommodate wherever we come out. So I think the quicker we can indicate where we're at based on the data we have, or identify ranges that they need to be budgeting at, I think will be better. I think the broader question is other topics that we want to tackle this year. And I'm honestly coming up empty because we dealt with, I think, the most pressing ones. Hopefully, in 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks. But obviously, to the extent that some of that doesn't pass or passes in a modified form, we may need to readdress it. So I guess I'm gonna open the floor today for any other topics that folks want to look at that's in the current SAP that we haven't already attempted to handle at the fall town meeting. And if you don't have the answers today, the homework assignment for November is to come back with a list of topics that you want. And presumably, to the extent you can let myself and Vanessa know in advance if there's a topic, that way we can call it out on the agenda and have data points ready to start to make informed decisions based on the discussion.
We have to, have a survey this year.
Well, I guess the question is, do we go for funding for a survey will be one of the things we should certainly discuss. I believe we're due, but that would be probably even a separate article, similar to last year.
We have to do that.
Well, the personnel board,
It's in the-
the
it's in the bylaw.
bylaw requires it, so you have to change the bylaw to get the quadrennial out. Or you have to bring it forward. Other topics top of mind at the moment?
I have one thought on that particular item. So I know you've suggested that we do that as a separate article, and we've done that in the past. However, I don't know if it's better to include it in your budget. We have our OPEB audit that we have to do every other year. And, the year that it's due, the accounting budget increases to accommodate, and then the next year it's not there and it fluctuates in and out as required. So you may want to think about treating it the same way. It doesn't need to be a decision now. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, and so then.
We can talk
then the
about
risk
that.
is someone sees a 200% increase in your budget for the 1 year, so then someone holds your budget, you have to get up and explain it for a second, but it becomes. Wrapped up in a
Exactly.
broader $60+ million budget.
And it's, again, it's a bylaw requirement.
Right.
I mean, I understand when it went before, it was ahead of the schedule. So maybe it should have been treated a little bit differently, but this is something that's required by the bylaw.
So I think one thing that I think would be helpful for me is, do other towns actually have this bylaw requirement? Or do they just, like, what is the cadence at which other towns are doing it?
Yeah.
And is it required, or is it based on a judgment by the town manager or town administrator? I think that would help us whether we need to start thinking about the bylaw language
Sure.
in conjunction with
Okay.
an analysis or a study.
I'll look into
Okay.
that.
And I think you should probably reach out to the vendors that typically provide these to just get a range so that we're not left with pennies on the dollar and a limited scope sort of study, depending on what number we put in the budget.
We have this, we're taking a look at consulting services in another area. And just a general discussion about how a lot of these vendors are disappearing. Auditors, right? We can't find auditors anymore. They're just slowly disappearing and nothing is backfilling them. Doing paying class, it's becoming very limited, as well. And so, doing search firms, those are narrowing and thinning, no one's replacing them. So it's becoming more difficult. So I think there's a little bit of trepidation when we go out for this paying class as to how many options we're really going to get. And, from some of the experience we've had with vendors, are they good options?
And so I think that's the personnel board needs to understand is
Yes.
how other towns are dealing with this, both in true town manager structures and the administrative structure.
Okay.
Any comments?
That's, that consulting firm that you're talking about, Mark, is what you suggested. Possibility a couple of months ago.
Well, we had a quote last year when we.
Yeah.
No, this is the new one.
No, we were having a discussion about health consulting. And so a completely different topic, but it morphed into how difficult it is to find these, to find vendors, to do these searches, to do these studies for you. It's just becoming less and less.
A couple of months back, you said, yes, but to look at, there was a new outfit farming. Then past municipal.
So,
That's
oh,
how they were collecting the data and we could pay, I think it was
Yeah.
$1,000.
so that's
to-
That's the
yeah,
Lytics,
that's a
yeah.
Vanessa, that's a Vanessa
That's the word I was
question.
looking for. It is a new, really dynamic platform that's based on all of our communities and going in and getting their data on, their cost of living, their contracts, a lot of information that we use in negotiations. So that is actually live now.
Thank you.
And people are just this week starting on our normal listserv, asking the questions about, what are you doing for FY 27? So we'll pull that together for November 2.
All right, is there any other business for today?
Just want to talk about your November meeting date.
Sure.
I think we were looking at the week of the 10th. Which that would be a remote meeting, I think, in
I
November.
will be out of state, but I can do virtual.
Yeah.
Most mornings, but yeah, it'd be virtual.
So I wanted to suggest either the 10th, 12th, or 14th.
I could do the 10th. Or I could do 10 or 14 at 8 AM.
Okay.
Those work for me.
Both work for me.
Work for me.
Dorian, any preference?
I am only available on the 12th. I will be babysitting my grandchildren. I'm sure you do not want a meeting around that kind of noise.
It'll be shorter.
Oh, yeah, like 2 seconds. Yeah, really, the only day I can, unfortunately, is the 12th. I can try to hop on the 10th. I'm out of town, but
What about, is there a reason we can't slide to the 17th the following week?
I may not be here that day, but I could certainly turn it over to Brian and Mark to assist you.
17th work, Dorian?
17th works for me.
So I'll
You-
prep everything
you okay with
with
that?
you in advance. Yeah,
That might be easier.
Sure.
I can't move anything on the 12th.
that's okay. Everyone else is good on the 17th?
Yes.
Bill, something coming on?
All right, all right, so I'll make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Carefully.
Any further discussion? All right, we'll call vote. Dorian,
I
Brian,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Tom, aye, and I'm as well.